and it comes from everything I've been doing and everything that I have. So if this doesn't resonate with you immediately, although I think it will, give it a little time. Okay, what is ministry? We tend to say, I'm in ministry, or God gave me a ministry, and we tend to think of this thing of God has given us something special to go out and to bless other people with. And that's correct. But there's a lot more to it, and that's what I want to share with you now. The church says that basically the whole thing is you get people saved, right? And you get saved, and then you get people saved, and that's it. Bring people to church, we get them saved. They're teaching the gospel of salvation, not the gospel of the kingdom. And the gospel of salvation, or the gospel of Jesus, isn't in anywhere in the Bible. I haven't found it. But the gospel of the kingdom is a lot of places. And that's a whole other thing we need to talk about, because the whole thing that Yeshua came to teach and told his disciples to teach, the church isn't teaching. But if I want to give you the bottom line, what is the kingdom? He says it's here, it's now, and it's in you. It is you. It's in you. The Spirit, the kingdom of God is in you. It's manifest in you, and that is your specific calling. Yes, the entry point to the kingdom is the confession of Yeshua, and atonement by his blood is a free gift. But hey, what are you going to do? Sit in church and listen to a salvation message every week? You got to get on with things. He for such a time as this. That's the name of this episode tonight. That's what I sign all my emails, for such a time as this. Why are you in the kingdom? You're in the kingdom because from the beginning of time, he gave you a specific ministry. Now, before you get puffed up, before you start running out to share your ministry, know this. There is not a person on the planet who's going to deal with your ministry more than you. Somebody might hear me tonight for an hour, that's it. Somebody may, sit under teachings that I do and get everything that I teach. And if that's you, great, I love it. My wife has to deal with it her whole life, but she'll never experience it the way I do. I deal with my ministry 24 hours a day. I wrestle with it. God said to me, Chaim, you're a great teacher, but can you live it? Can you live it? I actually have to walk out and live my ministry. I have to say, is that really true? I have to test it. I have to deal with integrity issues. I have to deal with everything 24 hours a day. And that made me realize my ministry is more for me than anyone else. The ministry that God has given is actually my sanctification process. It's my soul correction. It's Chaim getting cleaned up. It can't be more for anybody else than me, because no one else is dealing with the ministry God has given me, painfully dealing with it as I die to self, more than me. So then what is ministry? Ministry is when you let God minister to you, Yehovah, Yahweh, whatever you call him, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, minister to you. You die to self and you become your ministry incarnate. You actually embody your ministry, like St. Francis of Assisi is famous saying, continually witness the gospel and when necessary use words. Yeshua didn't need to say anything. Yeshua could walk on the scene and the demons would flee. Yeshua himself was his ministry. He walked the talk and he didn't even have to talk. When you allow your ministry to become you, meaning you die and you're resurrected with Messiah and therefore you live, then you're walking your ministry. I like to call it like Chuck Norris in the spirit. You can walk in the room and you just are your ministry. When you get to that point, then just showing up is your ministry. And that's what ministry is. The ministry that God gives you is your ministry when it manifests in your human form. And that can't happen when there's any Chaim left. Now, I can start to step out in it. I can start to walk in it. I can test it. And by his grace and mercy, I can still have a great testimony. I can still bless him and I can bless other people. But there's going to come a day, please, Father, that I finally let go of Chaim and let him fully function in me. And that will be the day that the ministry that I was chosen to walk in will actually reach its fullness. And each one of us needs to become that too. Yeshua did it, and he calls us to do it. So when you're thinking about my ministry, realize, just like everything else, folks, about our faith, it involves death. And once you do that, well, then you're fully representing the Father, representing the kingdom, and you're keeping Torah so fully that you don't need the Torah anymore because it truly is written on your heart so that you would do it.
Well, thank you so much, Chaim. And what I want to do is you left me with some things to think about for sure. And I
I
know
hope so.
yeah, and I know our audience as well, because you are right. And without love for each other, without love for God, the Torah is
A
useless.
clanging gong.
Exactly. So I'm thankful for that. And I just want to say that if you do come through, our neck of the woods, there's a Messianic synagogue here and a Hebrew Roots congregation. I'm friends with both of the rabbis there, so if you come through, I'm sure I could get you into either one of those spots. But I definitely appreciate it, man. It's really just neat to have you on, and neat to hear some things. There are some questions in the chat, but I think that the guys said we don't have to worry about asking them unless you want us to. I mean,
Please, it's your show. I'm here. Keep if you got questions, I'll be happy to answer them.